Hi, this is Olga Speaks directly from Vancouver, Canada, and in today's video I will talk about my CELPIP reading experience. So I passed my CELPIP test a couple of months ago right here in Vancouver, Canada, and I'm sharing my experience, my tips and tricks to passing the test. I got 12 out of 12 on reading, and I will share everything I know and everything that helped me get ready for the test so that you know what's coming. So on the screen you can see that the CELPIP reading part consists of 4 parts. So part 1 is reading correspondence, part 2 is reading to apply a diagram, part 3 is reading for information, and part 4 is reading for viewpoints. You will be given 55 to 60 minutes to complete the reading task. So as we dive into the reading parts, we'll see that the reading tasks are increasing in difficulty, meaning that part 1 will be the easiest for us and part 4 will be the hardest. As we go through the tasks, we'll see that they are using more complex sentence structure, more complex grammar. The ideas are becoming broader than specific. They are using very specific language and vocabulary aimed at portraying a certain topic, and to be able to answer the questions, you'll need to have a deeper understanding of the text, as well as the ability to read between lines. So part 1 of reading CELPIP test is reading correspondence. So here the main idea is to understand an email, a letter, a correspondence, or a message. You'll have 11 questions to answer afterwards, and you'll be given 10 minutes to complete those questions. Part 2 is reading to apply a diagram. You'll get 8 questions and you'll have 9 minutes to provide answers to those questions. So the text will be in the form of a chart, a graph, a diagram, and it will also have a text form attached to it. And the second text will be an email from one person to the other, talking about the context of this diagram, of this chart, of this graph. So it can be anything from real life, such as an instruction on how to recycle garbage, a step-by-step guide on how to apply for a driver's license here in Canada, a flyer for an event. So basically anything you can think of presented in graphic information together with text information. The ideas of these texts will be very well structured, concise, and have clear instructions or steps. Part 3 is reading for information. In this part, you'll get 10 minutes to answer 9 questions. So this part is pretty tricky. It's designed to have you be faced with the new information that you hear for the first time in your life. And these situations usually come from real life, from workspace situations. So the topics can range from anything. It can be like you researching a new recipe online, you following the furniture instructions to assemble the furniture you bought from IKEA or anything like that. And so this part is designed to see how well you can perceive this new information and how well you can deal with the information that's been paraphrased. So the main point of this task is to match the statements to certain paragraphs of the text. And this will help understand how well you perceive the information, how well you cope with the information that's been paraphrased, as well as how well you define certain aspects of the text. Part 4 is reading for viewpoints. It is the longest and the most difficult part of CELPIP reading test. So you'll get 13 minutes to answer 10 questions. And the topics in this part will range from anything on a more broader spectrum, like people's reaction to the government, people's reaction to a new technology being released, people's reaction to a new health system established. So the second text will be the reaction of the reader to the information provided in the first text, and it will have blanks for you to fill in. So you'll see that the ideas here will get more complex. So as I was prepping for my CELPIP reading test, I noticed there are 3 types of questions that the CELPIP program is using. So the first one is general meaning questions, which means that they are looking for a general idea of the text, like focusing on a broader topic instead of the specifics. The second type of the question is specific information question. So you can find that information in a specific place in the text, in the paragraph. It's usually a question about a date, a time, a year, a color, or anything. And you can easily find that information if you know where to look. The third type is inference questions. So these are the questions that are being asked on general concepts and general ideas expressed in the text, and you can only provide the answer after you've read the whole text and made your own conclusions about this text. So after passing the CELPIP reading test, I've put together a couple of CELPIP reading test tips to help you get ready for the test and score the highest results. So my first advice is to always keep track of the timer. So the timer is going to be right there in front of you on your display at all times. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to disappear. You just have to make sure that you are keeping track of time. Also try to answer all of the questions, right? You don't want to lose points, right? You want to provide the answers to all of the questions. It's totally fine. It's totally okay to not understand every single word in the text. Just don't keep stressing about it and don't keep focusing on the words that you don't know. But rather, I would advise to read the whole text, read the whole paragraph, and then you'll kind of get the meaning of that word that you were looking for from the context of the whole text. You have to make sure that you double check all of your answers before you submit the page, because there will be no way for you to go back and correct. So this was it on sharing my experience and tips and tricks to CELPIP reading. I hope you find this information useful. If you're preparing for your CELPIP test, let me know if you've passed the test before. What was the hardest part for you? To me, reading was one of the easiest parts. I really liked having the text right in front of me and having the possibility to go back to the text. I scored 12 out of 12 on reading, and I hope that my tips and tricks are going to help you pass the CELPIP test. Thank you for watching and have a happy Thursday. Bye.